I'm so glad you're here listening to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. I'm Genesis, your host and business development expert. If you're ready to make a bigger impact and income while helping others, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to help you sustain your passion. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Sustain Your Passion podcast. Today, I'm talking with Katie Whittington, who is an online business manager from Florida. Thanks so much for being here, Katie. Let's get started with you just telling me a bit about you and your business and your background.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So I am Katie Whittington. I am from Florida. My career background has been in progressive political campaigns. I've worked a few presidential races in 2020. I spent the last year working for an organization called Emily's List. And I started a business last year called Online Revolutionary. My little tagline I made is revolutionize your systems. And I really just want to help people who are neurodiverse like me. I have ADHD, uh, set up systems in their business, whether it's their CRM, they need help with project management, all of those kinds of things. I have ADHD and I love to do everything. So that's, trying to narrow that down is super hard as far as what exactly I want to offer, but I know I
Yeah,
want to help neurodiverse people.
that's awesome. And so it's really that intersection of like business management for those that are neurodiverse that run online businesses. Would you say that like all three of those pieces are important?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like I systems are like my kind of quote unquote neurodiverse superpower. So, and
I
I
love
know
that.
it's definitely not for everyone.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm just picturing like, do you have like lots of whiteboards around in your house and like, do you love a good spreadsheet?
I love a spreadsheet. I especially love to make them really pretty too. Like
Right.
I hate Excel because you cannot make them pretty. I know it like does more math or whatever, but that's not what I'm in there for.
Right.
But on Google, I can make it look really pretty. Or no, I've really gotten into Notion lately too. That is my favorite
Ooh,
so far.
okay. We'll talk about some tools here in a minute because I am also like a tech nerd. One of my past jobs was a business analyst for an IT group.
Ooh,
And it was very similar work, like process mapping and documenting systems, and then figuring out how to automate and improve efficiencies with different technology. Because, yeah, lots of people
yeah.
didn't like that stuff. But
Hmm.
thankfully, as an online business owner, you kind of have to like learn it. So I feel like we have some
Yeah,
common interests for sure. I've not gotten real into Notion, but I would love to pick your brain about it in a little bit. Because
sure.
today we are going to focus mostly on you and your brand, but of course, because you've got a wealth of knowledge, I'm going to have to ask you some questions.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, I also have to say I am a hardcore Google fangirl. Like throughout my coaching program, Passion to Paychecks, pretty much every step I'm like introducing a new Google resource because I have ran my business by using Google Drive products for 5 years.
Yeah,
Like it's amazing,
it's perfect. There's no reason to go anywhere else.
right? And
I
the
mean,
way that
other
you
things
describe the
can do
colors,
other things,
mm,
but yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
Google
I love
probably
the
has a
colors.
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here actually. I've got my Zoom up for our recording, but then I also have a Google Sheet open where I take my notes for a podcast. So when you said that, I was like, oh, she's after my own heart. Like, yes.
Love it.
Awesome. Okay, so talk to me about how you decided to offer what you offer. Like, how did you get into this line of work?
Yeah, so that is a really great question. I kind of just like honestly fell into the rabbit hole of Facebook ads and just like seeing Facebook ads for like different freebies that people were doing, which of course leads to a course and like all of this stuff. And then I eventually one of those things ended up being a digital business management course. Um, and so honestly didn't finish it because then I started my last full-time job. But it was, but like, I was like, wait a minute, I can do these kinds of systems and like project management things that I really like doing, not full time, like not for an employer exactly. Not like that was just like not something that occurred to me before. So I took my full time job last year. I was working at Emily's List for a year, basically. And there I got to learn a bunch of systems and project management things too. And then, when that job ended at the end of 2022, that's just kind of the way the election cycle works. It's all cycle based jobs in that kind of industry. And I just knew that I wanted to pursue doing systems and strategy, project management type of things on my own for people who were, neurodiverse like me and wanted that kind of help.
That's awesome. And so it sounds like you've been in business for about a year now. Talk to me about the projects you've worked on, what your offers have looked like, and how is marketing those offers going for you?
Not great because I hate that part.
The marketing part?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I've gotten better at like LinkedIn and stuff, but I'm still like, along with my ADHD, I'm also very much a perfectionist. And I'm like,
Mhm.
of course, I feel like if I'm selling someone to fix their systems, then my system should be perfect, which is not true.
Ah,
Um, but
yeah.
definitely a holdup in my mental brain.
Okay.
But yeah, so I off I've kind of just been doing one-off things for like what people come to me with and what they need. I have set up a Honeybook account for someone and like all of the automations and templates and things that go in with that so that they could have that streamlined process. I have been a tech VA for about the last year for one of my clients who I really love. She's great. And so I learned a lot about funnels and all of the tech things behind that through her. Because I've been her tech VA, I've really gotten to learn different funnel systems, how to make a funnel, how those automations work, which
Mm.
was not something that I had been introduced to before. So that's been really fun too. And then, just really like if someone needs consulting on, what system would be best for what they're doing, like if they need a project manager. So those are the kinds of things I love to do. But I know like with all the marketing stuff, they're like, just make one offer and sell that one offer. And I'm like, but I can do so many things.
I hear that so often. So I just want to normalize like that makes sense, right? Like you can help so many people and so many things, which makes you great at what you do because you don't just come in and say, okay, you've had to figure out everything on your own and now I'm going to just pop in and do the tech side of it. You can also
Hmm.
do the consulting part of which products are right for you and your business and your goals. So do you get to do that like strategy consulting planning side of things or have you been operating more in the directed VA type role? Because as an OBM, I would think you're doing some more of that strategy side, but maybe I'm
Yeah.
correct.
No, no, no. I have done both. I signed up to be a virtual assistant through like one of those platforms where you can be one. And that's how I met my
Gotcha.
current VA client. Honestly, she is the only reason I have not left the platform because I like
Mhm.
working for her so much. And of
Mhm.
course, they all have those things where you can't charge people outside of the platform.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I'm the non-compete.
yeah. Otherwise, I would have left the platform by now. She's the only reason I'm still there. So I got to learn all of that through her. But then with other clients, I am definitely talking to them about what their needs are, what I recommend would work best for them. And I never want to be like, this is what like force a software onto a client.
Mhm.
So I just, make my best pitch for what I think is best with what their needs are. So yes, I've definitely been doing that along with setting up their things.
Okay, awesome. Because that's a big split that I see in the market is like, are you helping people learn how to do things on their own? So more of the like
Hmm.
teacher role. Are you helping people along with them, like done with you role? Or is it more of that administrative task VA type work of I'm going to do the things for you, but you have to know what you want? So it sounds like you're more on the first side of that spectrum,
Yes.
or at
Yeah.
least that's where you want to go, but maybe you're currently
Right.
operating on the VA side.
Yeah, it's a little of both depending on the client I'm working with, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And so talk to me about the marketing stuff. I heard you say like I hate that part because I'm a perfectionist and I feel like my systems have to be perfect in order to be able to help
Hmm.
other people, which like isn't factually correct, right? Like that's super unrelatable
Right.
to
Yeah.
be like, oh, she has perfect systems, therefore like me and my shitstorm of systems will
And
feel comfortable versus, if you show the messy, that's more relatable. And like
yeah.
logically know that, but talk to me more about what comes up for you when you start creating content. And it sounds like LinkedIn is your primary place that you're reaching out to people. Like, what happens
Hmm.
when you sit down to work on marketing tasks? What do you think and what do you do?
Yeah. So first off, I just want to say for anyone who is like worried about their systems or anything, no one who's reaching out to you actually knows what your systems are. It's all back end stuff. So
Right.
this is not something I should be worried about either. Um,
Like, how do we
but
turn that advice back, right? Like,
right,
it's
yeah,
so hard to like hear and take your own advice
no
sometimes.
one knows no one knows if you're using HoneyBook, Dubsado, like no one knows.
Right.
Um,
And if they do know, like you might have done something wrong. Like it
yeah.
should be hidden. Totally.
So for me, it's a lot of just like because of the ADHD and my brain moving so fast and me having so much to say, I can't make everything I want to do or everything I could sell into like a concise little package that I can just like easily put out there. It's really hard for me to do that. Uh, yeah, so it's just kind of overwhelmed because I don't know exactly, unless I have like a burst of inspiration, like there is some sort of social justice thing that I want to talk about the other day. In the OBM class I'm actually going to finish. When I'm getting my certificate in, I finished one of the sections and got a micro certificate. So I was able to talk about that. So if something happens, it's pretty easy for me to just vamp off of that. But coming up with content and ways to sell what my services actually are in a concise manner is really hard for me, which you might be able to tell because I just have been rambling this entire time.
You're good. You're so good. Like the ramble is like it's music to my ears. Like that is the inner monologue of my brain. So like you're good. You're good. So a couple things. I hear you. I just want to clarify that like I'm aware of what you're saying you're like struggling with and where you want to go. Okay. So I'm going to repeat back what I heard.
Hmm.
It sounds like currently you've kind of happened into some really cool projects and you like all of them. And so you're not really sure how to like get rid of some or focus on others or how to combine them all into one neat, nice package that's really easy for you to talk about because it's all just one program because you want that simplicity and that sounds really nice to have like one clear product and that like that's what all the marketing people say you should be doing
Hmm.
and it seems to work for other people but like you're just struggling with how to actually do that. Is that right?
Yes, that is exactly right.
Okay. So I just have to affirm for you, you are literally talking to the best person for this problem. Like I am really good at solving that exact problem. So I'm just so happy that we found each other and are having this conversation. So
Perfect.
I want to invite you to just spend the next like half an hour or so as we talk with a mindset shift. Like, let's just pretend that you can very easily package everything you do into one package. Now, it's going to feel kind
Okay.
of like bullshit at first. You're going to be like, I know this is fake. Like, I have no proof of this. but I want you to just be courageous with me and pretend. Do you think you could do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would it be like if you had one clear package and you knew exactly what you did, you had the name for it, you felt really clear on your value proposition, you knew how to market yourself because you had one clear offer that you could talk about every day that you sit down to work on your marketing, and you knew exactly what was in it, you knew exactly what it did for your exact perfect client. What would that feel like, and how would your life be different?
I would feel really good and really simple and like just an ease that I don't have going into marketing things. Um, and I mean, it would definitely change things because it would be much easier for me to sell and put myself out there, which I imagine would end up with more than I'd end up with more clients.
Yeah. Exactly. And so it sounds like, like this is the answer, right? Like
Hmm.
there's not much resistance to like this being the solution. It's more just the how.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So I've got a couple different tools and different ways that we can kind of slice up this pie. So let's dive into your history a bit more. So
Okay.
you've mentioned a couple of clients and like different titles, but I want to know like you don't have to give names or specifics, like especially if they're listening or something, because you're going to share this podcast, I'm sure. But like I want you to think about your favorite client. I think you've mentioned her before,
Hmm.
but like think about her and the work you do for her. Is there clarity in your mind when you think about the things that you do for her that's like, this is the stuff I love the most? Like, I could do that all day long. I love hyper focusing on it. I'm really good at it. I'm competent and confident in it. Do you know what that topic would be?
For her, it would be funnel building. Yeah.
Say more about what you mean by funnel building. Just talk to me about why it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Um, so there's a lot of tech and problem solving involved. Like she will come to me and be like, I want an automation that does these things. And so it's a lot of figuring out what exactly that needs to look like and using the automation tool. I've used a bunch of different ones, but we use FG funnels for her business, and figuring out exactly how to make it work. And if something's not working, figuring out what's going wrong. So I kind of love that problem solving efficiency side of things.
And when you say funnel, talk to me about
Hmm.
like if I was a 5-year-old, what's a
Okay.
funnel in your context?
Yes. So basically, a sales funnel is, if you're bringing someone in to your business, a lot of people bring people in with freebies, adding them to their email list, and then there will be a nurture sequence to just kind of warm that cold lead up. Uh, and then normally at the end, you might be trying to sell them a course or a product, sometimes or a membership. Sometimes you're not doing that and they're just on your newsletter list. It's just a way for them to get to know you and be on their list. You can have different funnels for different purposes. It's really just kind of an automation sequence with a goal in mind.
Totally. And what's your most experience in terms of funnel building? Are you more on the like ad side, so getting people to actually sign up for the lead magnet, or more the email side of once you've signed up for the lead magnet, now here's your email sequence and like writing the copy for that email? Or is it more like you're a new client, now here's everything that gets delivered to you? Like, where in that journey do you spend the most of your time?
I handle the tech side of it. So it's the actual setting up of what if my client is writing the email copy, it's the actual setting up of the tech behind it and putting it all in the tool so it automatically goes out to her people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And so it's all of those stages. So,
Yes.
okay, awesome. And what all tools have you used before?
I have used FG Funnels, Active Campaign, um, ClickFunnels, Lead Pages. I mean, even like really any of those email things. I've also used ConvertKit. ConvertKit is the one I like as far as my business goes. Um, just the kind of aesthetic of it looks is more appealing to me, and the things that it can do, it feels more intuitive. That's why I like that one. But I've also learned all of the other ones as well, and that's something I really like. As far as tech things goes, whether it's a funnel, how you're building a funnel, what your email tool is going to be, what your CRM, which is your client or customer relationship management tool, is going to be, I can like, I am a very quick learner when it comes to tech. As most millennials are, because we grew up in the, technological
Mm-hmm.
in age where everything changed so quickly. But I I love trying to figure out how to get this certain tool to work the way I want it to work.
Yes.
um, yeah, like plug in any tool, I will figure it out.
Yeah.
Um,
Love that.
uh, which is why I feel so weird, like being like, oh, I only want to set up CRMs in Honeybook, or I only want to set up your email sequence in ConvertKit because I can do all the other ones. And if you have a preference, then I don't want to limit that for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think based on what you just told me, it sounds like your favorite work is sales funnel building and the
Really,
tech
anything with
part.
tech, that's just what I've been doing for her. Like, she already had great systems, so I didn't set up a CRM for her or anything. But yeah.
So if I were to ask you which should come first, like brand new baby business, do
Mhm.
they need a sales funnel built out or do they need a CRM first?
I think it depends on the business. If you are like serving one-on-one clients and you're really service-based, like I mostly am, I would say CRM. If you're planning on selling courses or having a membership or any of that type of thing, then I would say a funnel.
Interesting. Huh. I think that's, yeah, I think I would say sales funnel. Like everybody should have a sales funnel. And then some people need a CRM too.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I think it really just depends because I
Yeah.
like if you aren't going to use your sales funnel, like if you're not ready to grow your email list and do that kind of thing yet, then it's just going to sit there.
Right. And what would the situation be that a business owner isn't ready to grow their sales funnel and their email list and getting leads to make sales?
I mean, I think it's just like if you have a bunch of people coming in or like you are doing cold outreach, whether that be through LinkedIn and cold emails, and you're getting people great that way, then the CRM is going to matter more than the sales funnel because you're already doing like it just depends on what you want to focus on first.
Gotcha. Okay. And in your work with clients, do you help them make that decision or do they typically come to you knowing what they're looking for?
So far, they've come to me knowing what they are looking for, whether they're looking to set up the tech of a sales funnel or they need a CRM.
Okay.
I haven't had, I don't think I've had enough clients yet to be able to really say, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And in your idea moving forward, right? If you were thinking about your primary offer, would you want to include both of those things or would it be like this or that or both?
Yes, all of the above. I would want
Mhm.
to, I see what you're saying. Yes, like I would definitely want to be able to walk through that kind of thing with the client and, you know, find out more about their business if they need both, if we only need to focus on one right now type of thing. Um, Ideally, like my ideal model is having VIP intensive days where like we set up one or the other, or if they're small, we could do two in a day if they were not very complicated. And then have like a few retainer clients that I really love, but and help with project management. But yeah, that's my like ideal thing. I don't know how to put that on a website, but you know.
Ah. So I'm hearing that your offer could be like sales funnel in a day, and it's all the tech they need to actually get it up and running. So let's
Yeah.
imagine that's what it is. Okay. And if they
Okay.
add on a CRM because they're ready for it or not is kind of, let's leave that off for now. That could be
Okay.
like a bonus if you could get it down to be like really efficient, where it's just like
Hmm.
you add it on for half an hour or, an add-on service or something. Let's imagine you were to offer primarily, I can build all the tech you need for your first sales funnel. Does that sound exciting, or are you like, "Oh, but what about this?"
No, I mean that would definitely be something that I would enjoy doing. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about who needs that service.
Uh, I mean, really any new business owner who's ready to focus on growing their email list and getting clients in that way. Uh, yeah.
Say more about in that way.
As far like growing their getting clients through email and through like a nurture through a lead sequence and through a sales funnel. Yeah.
It's funny, you are such an expert that your definitions of these terms are like,
Are
it's
the
a sales
terms.
funnel. Like,
Yeah.
duh, it's a sales funnel. And like, I know what you mean,
I
but I'm
know.
thinking about like the people I help are so I don't know if you've looked on my website much, but essentially
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
offer 6 months, right, to help people take their passion, turn it into their paychecks by creating their offer, creating their brand, and then actually marketing and selling it. So I do a lot of the content side of it and the like what, right? And the how,
Yeah.
but the actual delivery side of it is where I'm like, these are some options, but I can like tell you there's resources out there. And there are some people, like you said, right? Some of us millennials are just like dope on it, done. Like we just
Yeah.
tech. But I can tell you there are millennials exactly my age. Like I'm 30, so I'm on the lower end of millennials too. And there are people my age that hate tech, don't want to
Oh
learn it.
yeah.
When you say sales funnel, they're like, yikes, they get like the cringe and they're like
Right.
technology,
Yeah.
automation, what? Like, absolutely not. Who do I pay to do that for me?
Me.
And so, right. And so I'm thinking what I've heard you describe is very specific about you. Okay, let me throw out a belief. And if you're like, yeah, exactly, then great. But if not, I need to dig in a little more. Okay.
Okay.
Do you believe that sales funnels and email marketing is necessary for scaling your business?
Scaling, yes. Starting
Okay.
it out, no.
Totally. I agree. You could
Yeah.
start your first year or two, no sales funnel, no CRM. Like you could be fine. You're going to create a lot of
Hmm.
mess and like you're probably going to wish
Right.
you had like started with structure, but it can totally work for the first year or two.
Yeah.
But once you get to that point where you're like, I'm ready to scale, there becomes a point of like diminishing returns where it's like, yeah, it's nice and easy because I'm not tracking stuff and that saves me time. But then when you're like, oh crap, who was that person I was talking to last week? And
Mm-hmm.
who was I supposed to follow up with 3 weeks ago? And did that person really get their question answered? Like, I don't know. And then trying to manually go and manage all of those messages of like getting to know them and them getting to know you could be replaced by an email sales funnel. And
Yes.
like that makes sense to me. So I just want to check like that's a belief that you would agree, right? Like if I'm trying to scale, I probably need an automated sales funnel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So if you were thinking about tomorrow, you had somebody signed up for a VIP day or like the next free day you have,
Mm-hmm.
what would they what would their business be like? Would they be brand new, like 1 month in, asking those types of questions? Or would they be like 2 to 3 years in, or like they've made, 5 to 10K months, but they're ready to scale to like 20K months and they know that they can't do that? Like, what do you think are some of those like key client identifiers?
Now that you ask it in that way, probably at least, you know, have been in business for a year or so and they kind of did exactly what you just described. They didn't have a CRM or any sort of automations or funnels. And now they're like, oh, whoops, and need to pay somebody to put that in place. So they at least a year or two. Yeah.
That's huge. Like, that is so clear because I want you to think about how I view marketing for a second. And so,
Okay.
your goal with your marketing should always be to spell out so clearly a day and time and situation in your ideal client's life and connect to their feelings and thoughts and emotions in that exact moment, that once they read your post, the next time that experience happens, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to hire Katie. And they're like, oh, Katie could help me with this. And so I help my clients think about like what are 5 key moments in time that your ideal client is thinking, ugh, if I only had a VIP day that would build me a sales funnel. Like a couple of those moments in time are probably when they're trying to figure out, hey, I'm trying to hit my sales goal this month, but I don't remember who all my leads are. Or I'm trying
Right.
to get a business loan and I can't prove that I have any lead growth because I literally have not been tracking the numbers to know that I've had X amount of conversations and Y amount of interest, like returning, which that goes in your business plan when you apply for a loan. And so there's
Yeah.
some very specific moments where the pain is felt of not having a sales funnel. And so if you got really clear about that and you were thinking about the person like 2 to 3 years in, what would be another example that comes to your mind of like, oh, this is where they'd really recognize like the, oh, oops, I wish I had done this earlier feeling? What's that business owner experiencing?
Yeah. So definitely one that came to mind was having to send emails manually to clients. Like
Oof.
there's no set automation in place, there's no templates in place. They're just kind of starting from scratch every time they do this.
Sounds miserable.
Right. Uh yeah, another one is just not like for like you mentioned, forgetting who their leads are, but also forgetting to follow up with leads because they're not keeping track of it.
And why is that
Um,
important? So I want to put you back in your expert brain real quick. Why is it
okay.
important to follow up with your leads?
People, one, will forget they even had a call with you. Like that's just a thing. They're not going to follow up with you. And it's extremely rare if they do. A lot of times you will follow up with a lead like, a week or 2 weeks later, and they'll be like, oh my God, yes, I did want to sign up. I totally forgot. Let me give you my information type thing. A
Yeah.
lot of people also need to be sold to multiple times before they actually decide to buy something. So those
Right.
follow-ups are probably going to bring in more clients than your initial calls would.
Right. I was just talking to a marketing manager, a social media marketing manager on my last episode. She said the current research stats are like 32 times, 32 touch points before
Mm,
people are ready to buy from a brand that they just encountered.
yeah, that
Like,
makes sense.
you don't control the algorithm, right? Of like
Yeah.
whatever platform you're posting on, but you can control how many emails you're sending out.
Yes. That is great.
People
You
don't
don't
know
control the
that.
algorithm, but you control your emails. Yep.
Yeah, but like people don't know that if they're new in business, they're not thinking about, if they just hear the stat, like you need to have 32 touch points, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to post like 32 times a week. What the heck? Like,
Mhm.
that's ridiculous. When it's like, no, like
No.
over
Yeah.
3 months, you could be nurturing someone, but they're feeling the biggest, like, oh my gosh, I wish I had had that built out when it's getting to like the end of the month. And they were like, I really wanted to hit my 10K goal this month, but I'm only at 6K. If only I had been reaching out to all those people, I wonder if following up with them could lead to that last 4K I'm trying to make this month. Like, I
Yep.
have 2 more spots to fill in my program. I don't know who's ready to buy because I just don't have it tracked anywhere.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. And that's some people are doing it that way.
Mm-hmm. And they need you.
Yes. Yeah. Because if they, yeah, I mean, that is definitely something that's happening out there. People are just not keeping track. And it's not like, I definitely don't want anyone to like feel bad about this conversation. It's probably either like you just didn't know, or you don't know how. And you're not like, you're really overwhelmed by that sort of process, which totally fair. Um, so it's not like yes, it will definitely bring you in more sales and you definitely want to set this up. But if this is the first time you're hearing about this, listening to your podcast, then that's okay.
Totally. And that client journey that you would go on. So once you decide, like, this is my ideal client, this is what I'm going to offer them, knowing that that might be your intro offer. And maybe 80% of the people only do the intro offer of a VIP day to set up their sales funnel with you. And,
Hmm.
maybe, a chunk of them down the road come back around, but maybe 20% of the 100% that book that VIP day retain you for ongoing services for some flat rate monthly or per project or per hour or whatever. Like, that structure could be worked out with the person individually, but having a
Yeah.
standardized intro offer is what's going to get you consistent income, consistent leads, and build your brand in such a way that you are the expert so that the next time people are facing those pain points in their life, they think, oh, I need to reach out to Katie.
Yes. Yeah. That sounds perfect.
So, what questions come up for you now that you're thinking, like, we were pretending, right? We were playing pretend that, like,
Hmm.
this could be your ideal client, this could be your offer. What concerns do you have now? Like, let's imagine we said, okay, run with this. What comes up next of like, oh, how do I do this? Or what about that?
Um, for me, it's kind of like where to go to find people. Like I'm on LinkedIn and that's great. But it's kind of like who do you DM and reach out to? Like like who do you talk to like make this sort of pitch kind of thing? Does that make sense? Like where do you
Totally.
find people? Not even a who, where?
Yes. So, where to find people that would need that offer?
Hmm.
Okay. So, does that mean that you like love that offer enough that you actually kind of want to move forward with it a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I just want to like pause and congratulate you. But like, that's amazing. Super cool knowing that once you build your first offer, like, and you have that clarity, try it for like 3 months, see how it goes, and then tweak it. But so, in terms of your next question, right? So, where to go to find people that need my offer? That I'm going to pitch back to you some questions, right? So,
Okay.
in brand clarity and marketing coaching, I know that you know the answers because you already know your ideal client. It's in you. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you, where did you find the person you last purchased from?
I mean, through a sales funnel.
Ironic, right? Where did
Right.
that sales funnel start? What was the lead magnet that caught your eye, and where did you encounter it?
Oof, there's so many. It's possible it was through um like a bundle, like signing up for somebody's email list through a bundle for someone I was already following, like already on their email list type of thing. Um, I get a lot of I find a lot of other people that way, like through bundles or summit type of things. Um, I would, yeah, and that's definitely something that I like want to look into too, is like narrowing things down and having everything solidified enough for me where I can pitch myself to be on a bundle or in a
Ooh,
summit type of thing.
totally. I love that. So you have one really clear potential marketing strategy of ironing out your offer and your messaging enough that you feel ready and confident to, I'm air quoting, but like sell yourself into
Right.
summits, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's one idea. Talk to me about why you're using LinkedIn. How did that start for you? How did you decide LinkedIn and how is that going for you?
I really like LinkedIn is definitely like it definitely has the myth of being like stuffy and corporate and everything. But I think especially the last year or so, especially with people talking about COVID and all of the social issues we've had the past few years in America and people like actually speaking out on those, I just have kind of fallen into checking LinkedIn more than I really check anything else. And that's kind of, I like, I like being what I just thought of this, what I see as the new version of professional, where you're like still yourself, but you also have all of these skills and experiences that you can share and talk about and that are of value to the world or to whoever needs them. And I feel like that is just more conducive on LinkedIn than it is on Facebook or Instagram. I don't really like, I can make a graphic, I can hang out in Canva, but it's not really something that I enjoy doing. I would rather write when I'm talking about things on social media. So LinkedIn is definitely better for that, in my opinion. I could do it on Facebook, but if that's Facebook.
Yeah,
I think we
no,
met through Facebook, but
we
yeah.
did. That's kind of why I
Yeah.
was like, do you though? Because I know you hang on Facebook too.
I
Um,
hang out, yeah. And it's really great for the groups and everything. LinkedIn
yeah.
has not gotten their groups
I don't think
down,
people
but
use
as
them.
far as like me posting myself and like meeting people, I've met a lot of people on LinkedIn and I've connected and had great conversations with some people. Just also their algorithm is just friendlier to the people who are giving their content rather than ads or rather than trying to stir up some sort of controversy or something like you might see on Facebook or Instagram. They're out like, and you also see like so and so so and so congratulated this person, and so you get exposed to people type of thing that just doesn't always happen on Instagram or LinkedIn. It's normally just like the top performing people that you're going to see on Facebook or Instagram if you aren't connected with them already.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And so if you were to think about a post that you could go make on LinkedIn today, that could lead someone into your own lead magnet sales funnel,
Mhm.
which now I have to ask, do you have a lead magnet sales funnel built out for this idea yet?
I kind of not specifically related to sales funnels, but I do have a weekly planner lead magnet that walks you through brain dumping, things you need to do, and prioritizing.
How could you tweak that a little bit to fit more with the person who needs to implement a sales funnel?
That is a great question. I think uh, maybe like a process audit or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't be a tweak. It would just be completely creating something else. Um, but like some sort of audit of your current process and like what you're doing and like where you think things could improve as far as your automations and funnels and systems go.
What would be the step before attending a VIP day with you to actually build out their sales funnel? What would they need to know about themselves to be like, okay, I'm ready to book this?
Um, they would need to know what their current process is. Even if you don't think you have a process, you have something that you are doing, whether it's documented or not, even if it's a tiny bit different every time. There are steps that you go through and you're just not thinking about them. And that would be part of like free work I give people, like a questionnaire they would fill out before we would have our VIP day type thing. And what your, because another thing I want to do is like, not another thing, but the way I want to approach these kinds of things is what works for your brain. Because, for neurodiverse people, what works for me may not work for you. What works for someone else may not work for this person. So I want people to have really customized processes. Um, because otherwise I could just create a course of how to set up a process. But I want people to have those kind of customized things and what will really work for them. Like, are they the type of person who is going to go into their CRM every day? Do they need it to go to their like Asana or other project management tool every time someone fills out their contact form? Like, I want their and like what their dream is and where they spend the most of their time during the day. Like, what are they checking every day, and what now I've really lost my train of thought and I forget what the original question is.
No, you did so good. You did so good. So here's what I'm thinking you could do with this. The original question was what would they do right before attending and what would they need to know about themselves before they would be ready to attend a VIP sales funnel building day. And what I heard you describe is one of two things. So first, I think you could do more, and maybe it's both, but like your call.
Mhm.
But first, I could see you creating some kind of a tool matrix that's like for a sales funnel, there's going to be, potentially multiple pieces, right? Your landing page, your email software,
Mhm.
how you're delivering your freebie, like some of those options, you could list out them and give them pros and cons. And then the second thing though would be like track your week because I loved something you said there was like a little bit sassy and I just loved it. And I'm probably going to get the exact wording wrong. So I want you to come back and listen to this.
Okay.
But you said something of like, you probably have a process, you just don't know it yet.
Oh yeah.
And like that is so powerful because you are shifting the mindset of the person who's like, I just can't be processed. Like there isn't a process. I can't fit in a process. Like I'm anti-automation because there's no way that my like erraticness, right? Or whatever they're
Mhm.
telling themselves is the problem why they can't. You're normalizing like you're already there. You already have it you just need a little bit of support and structure. And that's where I come in. And then you can reach the goal of scaling your business and getting more time back to actually serve your clients. So you can take on more clients. So you're spending less time chasing leads and all of those good
Yes.
statements and things like that, that you'll need to keep working on as you
Right.
develop your exact offer and all of the like structure of it and the takeaways and what you do and all of that. But I think that something like that, either one or both of those things, could be really cool because essentially I've been figuring out lately, I keep giving this advice that like there's something to giving away your intake process. Like if you had someone
Mm-hmm.
tell you, okay, I'm signed up, I want to meet with you on Monday, whatever intake process you would have them go through. So like that questionnaire, I'd want you to build that out and then give that away for free to people because there is value in completing the initial assessment that says, okay, I'm aware of these problems now, but what do I do with it? And that's where you would enter
Oh,
as the consultant that says, you meet with me. And now we build it
okay.
and we automate it. But you're trying to close the gap between, I don't have a process, I don't know where to start, and I'm going to give you the first step. The second is booking your call with me.
Okay.
What do you think?
That, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I love your approach of customization, which is why the matrix idea and like the pros and cons came up for me because, or like even a decision tree. Have you seen those like in Cosmo quizzes we used to do?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like one of those could be really cool specifically for like an email funnel or a lead delivery tool or, you know, lead pages versus all the other ones you listed. Like you could do something like that and then people have to sign up for your email list and then, you know, experience your nurture funnel uh or email sequence rather, nurture email.
Yeah.
But they have to sign up to get access to that resource. And then once you're that specific, that like your offer solves one problem, right? The problem is you don't have a sales funnel and you know you need a sales funnel in order to reach your goals of scaling. Like they already know they're here to scale. They already know it's time. They already know the answer is an email sales sequence, but they don't know how to get started on that. That's how you close your own customer journey map. So you're not talking about everything that falls into automation and systems, but rather as like far up. I picture funnels kind of like top down, as far up in the funnel
Mm-hmm.
as you can go. You want to be talking about exactly what you do so that you're not wasting people's time being like, oh, automations, oh, systems, wait, her offer is sales funnels. Like, oh, wait,
Right.
could have, you know, been looking for someone that actually automates like the CRM delivery of my course when like if that's not your specialty, which it could be later, but like start
Right.
with one offer
Okay.
to build your expertise. You want to just put that up as high as you can in your funnel, which if you're using LinkedIn for content creation, then you could be, oh my gosh, there's so many things you could be talking about around sales funnels. Like when is it time to build a sales funnel? Why do you need one? Where do you build one? And something that we haven't touched on yet is like when you picture your ideal client and you think about the person you've been working with and like who we've been talking about this whole time, right? What's
Mm-hmm.
their profession? What do they do? Do you know yet?
Um, so far I've just kind of niched it down to neurodiverse small business owners.
Sweet. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you can talk about that could be another topic post, why neurodivergent business owners need sales funnels. And all of these titles and all of these topics could be applicable to everyone, right?
Right.
But you're adding in your client identifiers to say, yeah, you could go read anyone's about this, but like I get you, and I'm going to talk about this problem the way that you think about this problem.
Okay.
What are some other content ideas you have thinking about if you were to go and try and teach someone the value of a sales funnel?
Um, how it can help save you time and energy because it's not something you have to think about every week
You
or
just
day.
gave me two. Those are two separate things. That's amazing. I love it. First one, time. Second one, how it keeps you organized. Shit. Third one, how it makes you more
Oh,
money.
damn. Yep.
Like, there's so many things there. Once you get specific, that's when the ideas start flowing, because otherwise it's
Yeah.
like kind of the overwhelm, right? Of like, I have so much to pick from. And if you struggle with executive functioning at all, like,
Yep.
that's so hard.
It really is. Yeah, this has been super clarifying. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm
That's
looking back at my
great.
notes here and I see revolutionize your systems has been like your tagline, right? Or,
Hmm.
okay. What would you say your new tagline could be? Or is that it still? Does that still feel right?
Honestly, that still feels right. Because I think it will like funnels are a system, and like as I grow and offer, like work on this one first, of course, but like offer other things, it will still be about systems.
Hmm. My concern would be that it's not specific enough. I could see like
Okay.
a business name being called that, but I wouldn't want you regularly like embedding that in your marketing because that's not specific enough. I would want to know, what does it mean to revolutionize and what
Okay.
system specifically? Because when I think about the sales funnel building, the benefit of it is you're going to help me scale my sales. You're going to help me nurture more leads. So we would want to think about a benefit statement that could be like your tagline or your program name or what you're really
Okay.
embedding into all of your marketing. Because like we were saying, if this is going to be your offer, we want to put that up as high as we can on your marketing funnel. So this could be, I'm looking back at your niche statement, like I help neurodiverse business owners set up systems in their business, like CRMs, project managements, but you want to narrow down. So I wonder if it could be, I help neurodiverse business owners set up sales funnels in their business to increase their sales, or set up funnels to increase their sales, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Is this getting too specific for you?
It is for right now, but I think the way I'm thinking of like a business tagline versus like an offer tagline, I was thinking of them
Mm,
as like the same thing. But like for this specific, like for selling sales funnels and like my services with that, and this specific offer that I'm going to focus on, yes, that makes sense. Getting more specific. Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, I think the revolutionize your systems is great for like the overall business that you
Right.
offer.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I don't think it's a replace it holistically. It's more like
Right.
when you're trying to sell spots in this, you'd want to think about like a title for it and a tagline for it specifically. And your overall like business mission statement can still be the first one you started with, right? So like
Hmm.
neurodiverse business owners set up systems, but the specific niche that this program and this offer serves is the sales funnel building. So you'd want to make sure
Right.
that's
Yes.
like embedded in it.
Yes. That makes sense to me.
Okay, awesome. And when I think about like the people that I talk to all day and that I help, I'm like, you need to find them. Like you need to find n- like people that have been in business for about a year. I almost, gosh,
Hmm.
makes me want to see if you were to write something that's like been in business for a year. Here's your checklist. Like, is your business
Yeah.
structured for longevity? Like, here are things you should have to be like structured, or to give, I don't know like an exact word, but something about Yeah, the systems you should have
Yeah.
in place by your 1-year business anniversary or something like that.
Yeah. Systems you need to scale. Systems.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funnels you need to I
To
was trying to go
function.
with function. There you go. I was thinking
Yes.
fundraising and I was like, that doesn't work.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
that
like
would work for all of
alliteration
it,
a
right?
lot,
It's
but
so fun. That's great. Okay, so if you were to think about like, let's just put like the next 30 days, how many new clients are you trying to get?
four.
Okay. And would 4 new clients in this VIP day sales funnel offer help you hit your sales goal?
Yes, because I currently don't have one.
A sales goal?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So figure out your sales goal first. And then do the math back to say, okay, if you took on 4 of those, what would that price
Hmm.
us at? And work out your pricing and all of that. Clarify the name and the tagline, clarify exactly what this one offer would include, and then just start talking about it all the time from every different angle about who needs it, why they need it, how it works, where to find more information about it. And every call to action should be to either message you for more, comment below, to answer a question about it, or get on your email list so that you can begin nurturing them.
Yes, that sounds great.
Super clear, like, to-do list now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then you would ask the question, where to go to find people that need my offer? So what's your answer to that question now?
LinkedIn, and find it once I have all of these, have everything solidified, going to, finding funnel, well, not funnels, finding bundles and summits that I could be a part of with these skills.
Totally. And the best way to pitch yourself to those engagements will be to have a clear lead magnet and have your like very niche specific training or tool that you could offer as part of their bundle. And getting really specific about this offer will lead you there.
Yes. Yay.
Yay.
This is exciting.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Good. My head isn't all foggy with a bunch of things I can do all at once.
Sorry, did you say it is or isn't foggy?
It's not. It is
Oh.
no longer foggy with all of the, yeah. I mean, sometimes my brain feels like the everything everywhere all at once movie, because that's, I feel like a lot of neurodiverse people can relate to that because it's just so much at one time and I want to do everything all the time, but I can't do that. Yeah,
Mm.
so this has been super clarifying. Like, even though I can do, like, yes, I have all of these other skills I can do, like, clarifying what one thing to focus on first is great.
Oh, Katie, I'm like tearing up over here. You are like you engaging in this conversation with me, you being vulnerable, bringing me your messy, foggy ideas, and helping yourself through this journey and letting me poke and prod and ask you hard questions. Like, you are helping me serve in my greatest purpose, which is helping people figure out what their greatest purpose is right now. Not like forever, but just the next
Right.
thing to focus on. And so I just want to thank you so much for engaging with me today. And you, it's so funny you bring up Everything Everywhere All at Once, because I was just talking to my sister-in-law today about that movie, and she and I connected over like we both were just like sobbing by the end, and we're like, it's so beautiful. Like,
It's
I
so good.
feel
And I'm
it.
so glad they won all of the things last night at the Oscars. Like, oh,
So well deserved. That movie was incredible. And yeah, it totally overlapped with the neurodiversity of like, I recently wrote a Facebook post about this where it's like I used to hate when my brain would get like 5 ideas all at once, because
mm-hmm.
you know that feeling, right? Where it's just like a
Yep.
burst of energy and excitement. And I also have ADHD. And so it's like that same dynamic, right? Of like oh my gosh, all the neural pathways are firing at once.
Yeah.
Like I'm clicking through like potential universes that could exist in front of me. But like it's electrifying and exciting, but it's also so debilitating and overwhelming
Yes.
because it's like, well, which path do I take? I'm not going to take any. I'm going to just sit down and cry. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm going to
And
avoid
then
that question.
sometimes if you don't write them all down, then you forget them. Like
Mhm.
it's like I had this really cool idea about an hour ago. What was it?
Right. And I'm going to spend the next hour trying to remember what that idea was,
Yep.
not figure it out, and then spend another like 6 hours today feeling shitty.
Yep.
Oh,
That is ADHD.
yes,
That's what it is. Like,
exactly. Yes. I actually didn't know I had ADHD when I started my business, but I was attracting a lot of neurodiverse folks. And after a few years, like some of the people I was working with shared with me like diagnoses, and, a couple of us were getting diagnosed around the same time. And I was
yeah.
talking with my very first client, and she was like, I just assumed you knew that you were neurodiverse because,
No, yeah. Mm-mm.
and I'm like, no, it would have been cool if you mentioned that. Like, I had
Yeah.
no idea.
TikTok told me. So
Same. Oh my gosh. Same.
yeah,
SYP. Oh,
I didn't, yeah, I wasn't diagnosed until like a little like year and a half, 2 years ago.
mhm,
Um, I was already 30, like I'm 32 now.
mm,
Um, yeah, and it makes so much sense
mm,
looking back on it, but I didn't know what was going on.
right. Same. Same. Yeah, for me, it was about 2 years ago. I was 28, and I had been in counseling for years, and the counselor I
Mhm.
was working with never brought it up. And then TikTok, it was mentioning it, and I was learning about the symptoms. I have a psych degree. Like I took abnormal psychology. I never saw myself in any of those diagnoses through like the DSM specifically. And then TikTok, hearing people talk about what it's like for them in real life, I was like, oh yeah, like I have constant chatter in my brain. Like most people don't.
Yep.
Like what?
Yeah, it's like what? Your brain is just quiet? Like
Right. Yes. And then I found medicine. And
Yep.
I don't know if that's been part of your journey, but for me, it was like, oh my gosh, I just started crying and was like, I don't hear anything. Like, it's so nice.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't quite quieted everything down for me, but it allows me to like if I have a bunch of thoughts at once, I can sort through them and
Mm,
focus on like what like what is really going on rather than just being like overwhelmed like a squirrel.
yes. Like the, ah, all
Yeah.
the thoughts. Yeah, I get that. And think of it as like water when you like kick up the water, right? It's like, it just like
Mhm.
falls down and then you can see what the heck is going on. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh.
well, I'm so glad that we had this conversation, and I'm so glad we
Me
connected.
too.
I really hope this was helpful. What are some of your main takeaways from our conversation?
Oh my goodness. Yes, this was very helpful. I honestly think you just saved me a couple $1,000 because I was probably going to sign up for another course. Um
Heyo. That's awesome.
um but yeah, like just kind of having that because a lot of people talk about, just have the one offer. And it's like, okay, but what is that one offer? And like they don't walk you through the process of actually figuring that out. So this has been like really valuable just for those probing questions and like having a next step that isn't 10 next steps,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like 10 steps you want to figure out how to do all at once,
Mhm.
but it's like there's an actual like process that I can follow rather than not having because if you don't have that first step, then it is going to feel like you want to do 10 steps at once. But if you have like the clarity on what your first step is, then those next steps kind of fall into the order they should be.
Mhm. Absolutely. You have the foundation. Like, I think that So that's actually one of the reasons why I started my offer Passion to Paychecks, because I went through a very expensive, like $8,500
Oh.
program. And
Mm-hmm.
I skated through it because my master's is in education and I specifically studied program development. And one of the 16 topics was over the 16-week program was developing your offer. And so for me, I was like, oh, sure, like I know how to do this. But probably 90% of the people in this program had no idea how to actually do it. And
Mm-hmm.
so their success rate was really freaking low. And that made me so mad because I was like, there is pedagogy, like there's a whole field of science about developing learning outcomes and curriculum. And we can leverage that in the business world. And that's the gap that I try and fill with my services, is how to add structure to your offers so you feel confident when you say, like, this is what I can help you do. You actually know that you can back that up because
Right.
developed an offer with that goal in mind. But like how to actually do that is so poorly covered. And even the most expensive programs out there, because they just don't know, but they figured out like how to make money. And that sounds exciting. So people buy it, which is like personally what I did. I was like, oh, cool. She can teach me, how to build a business. But like the key factor, right? If you were trying to sell pizzas and you bought a course and they were like, then just build the pizza. And you were like, how do I source the sauce? How do I cook the pizza? Where does it go in? Like, like, and they didn't teach you that. It's like, you're missing a fatal, like critical part.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I completely agree with that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm so glad that we talked today and that this was helpful. You know your pizza type. Now it's time to get out there and start talking about it.
Yes. That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sustain Your Passion podcast. If this episode helped you gain a bit more clarity, courage, or confidence, please share it with your friends on social media or in a text. It would mean the world to me. Thanks in advance for sharing this episode. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.